Doris. We're owners of Unpack Once and Done. And we have a travel agency, and we just took a trip on the Eurodam, the All America Eurodam, and went to Alaska. It was rainy weather, but we'll tell you about that. But we're going to share our experience with the ship and show you some pictures and some videos of that was going on. So let's talk about first
day.
No, first. This is Doris. I'm Jim. So, and let's talk about first how we traveled to the port. So go ahead.
Well, we normally advise everyone go at least the day before. At least the day before. We didn't. We decided to chance it, and we took an Alaska flight early. We had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to catch the airplane in Reno, Alaska Airlines. But it was a direct flight, and it was supposed to get in at 7:30 in Seattle. So it seemed to work out perfect, and we thought, we'll take the chance. We have insurance if we miss it.
And we had travel insurance, as Dora said. We bought the transfer. So when we got to the airport, it was easy. We just went over to the little kiosk that they had for Holland America, dropped off our bags. They gave us a little boarding card, and we just waited for the bus for maybe half an hour.
Yeah, it was fast.
Boom, we
comfortable seating to wait.
We're on our way to the ship.
It was very good. It was very good.
Very easy. Then we got to the port. That was easy too. We walked in. They sent us to one area, and we just sat there maybe an hour, and met some other people. And it was great. It was just an easy check-in. And we just held up.
It was 2-minute check-in.
2 minutes check-in.
It was so fast. Because we had done everything online prior to getting to the port. So they literally you showed your boarding pass and you were on the ship. So it was very fast.
And so we advise everybody to travel early, especially with these airlines the way they are now.
Volatility, yeah,
the volatility.
It's crazy.
Coming back, our flight was a late flight. It was like 10 at night. We didn't leave Seattle until after midnight to come to Reno. So it was about 3 in the morning before we got home. So it was the trip home wasn't as great, but still, it was a good flight. It was a direct flight. But
the trip going up was
everybody's
great.
got to travel early, or have the insurance, or plan on missing your first port if you don't want to travel early. So, that's something you have to do. So let's talk a little bit about our room and how we got it. And even though we are travel agents, we'll put our logo and stuff down below. But let me let Doris talk about our trip and how we got it.
Well, we got a free casino offer. We play $20 a night in the casino, and we get the casino offers. So basically a free room, but it wasn't really free. By the time we finished, we spent about $2,200 for a week in Alaska. We always purchased the Have It All package with Holland America. We had to pay the air and the port taxes and fees. And then there was a $100 fee from the cruise line to book the free rooms. So all in all, it was $2,200, which I still think is really cheap for a week in Alaska. But the casino room, but the casino room was an inside room. They offered us an upgrade for a very nominal fee, and we were upgraded to a fully obstructed, because the ship was packed full, to a fully obstructed room. We literally looked at a lifeboat, but it gave us the natural light that we wanted. Yeah.
But the thing with Alaska is the sun didn't go down till 11 o'clock at night. We're outside at 10:30 eating pizza. Right. You could read a book outside. And so that's a neat thing about being up in Alaska. So long days in summertime. So, but the room was fine with the.
It really was. It was fine.
It was fine.
And I had a bathtub. My goodness, that was cool.
So that was our room. I'll show pictures of the room. What about why did we choose Holland America?
I just love the classic cruising. I think we both enjoy that. Mm-hmm. We don't have to have the rock climbing walls at our age. We don't have to have the flow riders or any of that extra stuff. We enjoy relaxing by the pool. We enjoy really professional talks where we learn things. We love visiting the ports. We go to museums.
The talks were like mini TED Talks.
Yeah.
And they were really good.
And we don't do the shopping like we used to do. We no longer shop for all the gifts for all our friends and family. Everyone has everything from all the ports we've already been to already. So now it's just, enjoying our cruise.
Now, I'll talk a little bit about excursions before we get into day one, but the excursions are pretty pricey up there. So we had gone on a lot of the excursions before. Our first stop was Juneau, and it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
So
they even canceled all the air
flights and helicopter flights.
Tours.
So why not go to the Red Dog and drink beer? So that's what we did.
Well, I had duck farts.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a duck fart, you've got to have one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk. I think we've talked a little bit about embarkation day, and you want to talk a little bit more about that?
No, I think we pretty
You
much
good on
covered.
that?
It was
Okay.
very, very easy. I can't stress enough how easy it was. Out of Seattle. I understand it's a little bit more demanding when you get to Vancouver because of the customs situation, and you can have a long, long wait to get on board. But in this instance, Seattle was a wonderful port to get into.
So
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, as I said, our first stop was Juneau. It was pouring rain. Somebody said, well, we were there in less than 4 hours when we got there. They said it already had rained an inch. So it was coming down. It was coming down. So we did. We walked in. First, we walked into a little shop and we bought one of those ulu knives.
Ulu, yeah.
And
With the woolly mammoth handle.
Yeah, Juneau, Alaska was just like going to Mexico. You can bargain on the price. They wanted $890 for this knife, and I ended up walking out of there with it for $300, wrapped, shipped to my house, taxes included. So, don't let the
We were happy because we had researched, and that was
don't
about
let
the price range.
Tourist prices get you.
Yeah.
Tell them, I'll buy it. I'll buy, this. Whatever you want, ring. Once we bought that, they want to keep pushing you for rings and everything else. But I really wanted the ulu knife because it had a mammoth handle on it, mammoth bone handle. So I thought that was, to me, I didn't care if it cut or not. I wanted that mammoth bone.
Yeah, but it does cut really well. I highly recommend it.
So then that's when after that, we walked over and had lunch in Red Dog and sat there. And then we left and we walked around town a little bit more. And there was a super line going outside of a Red Dog. So don't tell anybody, but I snuck in the back door and went through the store and back into the bar. And I found 2 seats at the bar. And I told the guy that I did this after I got in. He said, "Oh, yeah, just sit there." And we called Doris in. Like she was called to the front of the line, just red carpet person.
Felt very good.
And so they pulled her in. And we sat at the bar. Met some nice people at the bar.
Yeah, we did.
And then we got to sit with them. We saw them quite a bit on the ship. So
original farmers.
Yeah,
real
farmers.
At 4,000 acres or something.
Yeah, really,
it was a really nice couple.
Really neat.
Yeah.
And then we could have done a little bit more in Juneau, but we had been there before, and like I said, it was rainy, and so we just didn't. It wasn't the best day, so we just went back to the ship and relaxed.
Yeah, we were going to go to the Glacier.
We're going to go to.
They have a local bus that's a lot cheaper than the excursions, so we were going to do that. But it was pouring rain, and then you have to walk a mile to get to the glacier. I did not want to walk in pouring, and it was in the 50s. It was freezing cold.
Okay, so speaking about walking around the rain, we did go to the State Museum. There, I think it was like $15. It was kind of a nice little museum, and it showed some local Tlingit Indian
Tlingit?
Tlingit. It's a Tlingit.
Is it?
So and some of their artistry was kind of small, but it was nice. And then talk about the rain here. Doris bought these boots
On Amazon.
on Amazon. They're like the old
They were
galoshes.
$16 a pair.
They went right over our sneakers. We didn't have to take a lot of shoes with us.
Yeah.
So we got those, and they work fine. They work great.
They were perfect.
Yeah.
They're made out of silicone, so they stretch over your shoes. I got a white pair. But yeah, they worked out really, really well the whole week.
And just to let you know about the ulu knife, I got to be careful I don't cut myself here. This is what it looks like. And this bone here, let me put my finger there. This bone here, I think it's not a bone, but actually a fossil.
What was it?
I think. And so is the rock that holds it.
I don't know. It's got that.
It's got that, yeah, maybe it is a bone. It's not a fossil. So
Yeah, it looks like
that's
a
what
bone.
they look like. And that thing is sharp.
Oh,
So,
it is amazing to cut chicken breasts in half.
So anyways, that's a neat thing. And what else did we do in Juneau? That's about it.
That's about it. And then we literally sat at the bar until it was time to go back.
Yeah,
we
quite a
were
while.
just having such a good time with that one couple.
And we're just talking
So,
and
yep.
enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
And they were scheduled to go on a helicopter tour, but they
Had to
couldn't make it. They
cancel,
canceled
yeah.
that. So, okay, and then our next stop is we went up to Glacier Bay. Now I'm going to put the whole video in here that follows this for the video for the Glacier Bay. It's awesome, just awesome.
That was an amazing. It was as if Holland America ordered the calving for us. It was unbelievable.
People were just thrilled, including ourselves, on what we had. Or what we saw. So I'll put that on video. It's about a 2-minute video. I'm not going to do the whole Glacier Bay, but we saw whales in there. We saw seals in there. We saw
birds.
Birds. And, I mean, all kinds of wildlife in there. And I guess you can go camping in there too. So we haven't. We saw some people camping along the way. I don't know. So we saw some grizzly bears too. So I'm not sure about camping and how that is. So.
And if you go out on the bow, because they do open that so that you can see the glaciers from outdoors, and you're really, really close. What are we, a mile away maybe?
Not even that.
It was very close.
Yeah.
I was so surprised. You've got to have their split pea soup because it is the best split pea soup you will ever have in your life. And they serve it out on the bow. So it's very cool.
So, all right.
I'm
sure it's a lot higher than this.
Yeah.
Oh, big one coming.
Big one.
Oh.
That was a big one.
Oh my goodness. There's what you wanted to see from last year there, Mary. There's a little one right there. More. Coming down in that one spot there, Mary. This is a big one, a big one, a big one. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my goodness.
That was huge.
Ooh, that's a huge wave.
Oh, shoot.
That would be awesome. Yeah, more from the tops. Yeah.
Very slowly.
Oh, there it is.
Did you get it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that big one. Boom. Oh.
That was good.
And just watch how long it takes for these waves to propagate out.
Yeah.
For everything
It's amazing
to
how
settle.
Holland
It's
America
like 5
orders
minutes
that.
Of,
Yeah.
I know. I don't know how they did that.
And that's why I go Holland America.
Yeah, they send a little guy out
Yeah,
there.
some guy. Chip away.
He's up there with a chisel.
Yeah. Look at the
Radio
waves.
on him, hurry up.
Look at the waves. It's like a kayak adventure. I want it.
From there, we headed out, and it's a day cruise out of there. And then we ended up going to a town called Icy Strait Point. And we didn't even get off. They said there's a lot of bears around. You can do zip lining. I'm not into zip lining. I've done it once. That's that's like that song. Is that all there is? So that wasn't not my cup of tea.
Yeah, there's a monorail or gondola that goes up to the top, and you zip line from the top down to the bottom. And there's beautiful views. It looks like a wonderful zip line trip. It really does look like it. But that's all there is to do there.
Yeah, so there
nothing else
wasn't
to
much
do.
going on there.
Yeah,
So, all right, then we ended up going. The next stop was in Sitka. Now Sitka's a new port, and I didn't realize that. It's Sitka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sitka was a new port, and it was really a nice little town. And apparently they filmed what is it? Proposal?
The proposal.
The proposal
Yeah.
in that town. And we went to the bar where they filmed it. It was really really neat. And they had a neat totem pole museum, and they also had a museum. Well, you know the museum, Sheldon Jackson Museum.
Yes.
Explain
And that
that.
was about a half-hour walk from the ship. It was a very nice walk. Lots of people did it. Easy to traverse. You can do a wheelchair. It's perfectly fine. But the museum had gorgeous totem poles. Oh my gosh. And then all the clothing. That was my favorite museum out of all of them, I think. I really enjoyed that museum. I recommend that museum for everybody.
Yeah. So the museum was there was two, right? What?
Well, we didn't go to that first one. We went to the second one. This Sheldon Jackson.
Oh, the
We
Sheldon
went to
Jackson.
Sheldon
Okay.
Jackson,
And that was
which used to be a college.
Right.
And then back in, what was it, 2007, I think
Right.
yeah, in 2007, they turned it over to the Arts Council in the town. And that was actually one of the fun facts about that building was that it was, is that the one?
yes. It was built out
Yeah,
of
it was the
concrete.
first building in all of Alaska to be built out of concrete, which was unusual, I
Yeah.
think.
And so the building and there was a lot of things salvaged for the Tlinglets. Okay, that apparently when we took over the territory, all these Christian missionaries went in there and they're going to convert all these heathens in their minds, and they tried to really even beat the language out of them. It's really sad, the stories
Yeah.
that were told, and so it was really worth going in and listening to it and seeing the museum and how it would handle. Actually, also the talks. Again, on the ship,
On the
exec
ship,
talks
they were good.
talked
They
a
were
lot about it, too.
excellent. Yeah.
And so you can see how we were very unjust to the Tlinglets, and so it was it just it really preserved their heritage, which is neat, and now they're building their heritage back up from that. So then we went to
Ketchikan.
Oh, wait a minute, one other thing in the while we're there in
The restaurant in
the restaurant.
Sitka?
Yeah, so apparently the movie has a bartender named
Ramon.
And Ramon was based on this bartender that we had. I'll put a little clip of Ramon in there. But she was pretty gregarious and pretty nice to have.
Apparently in the movie we have not seen.
A movie we've never seen.
The person is a man?
Yeah, and supposed to emulate her.
Yeah.
And so we did that. The other thing we were doing was, I'm not a fish eater at all. I've got something, I can't even stand the smell of fish. The whole cruise was fish. And so very little red meat on the cruise. So we ended up going in there because we saw a sign that said burgers or chicken sandwich or something.
I had a fried chicken sandwich. It was delicious.
Yeah, so we had,
it was absolutely delicious.
I just needed something different,
Yeah.
But if you're a fish lover, go on this cruise.
Yeah.
And go to Alaska. It's salmon all over the place. It's like pigeons.
Crab, king crab, all over the place. Yeah, it's really good.
It's great seafood. I
love seafood.
I look at seafood. I love it. I love looking at it. I can eat sushi, but I cannot eat cooked fish. I don't know what it is. Anyways, so yeah, we were trying to, each port we tried to look for either a bar or someplace to eat a hamburger. So,
Okay, we're at the Westmark and Coldwater Crab restaurant right here in Sitka, right on the port. Yummy, yummy. We have.
You want to get on it? Go over there. Go over there.
Come on over here. You got the voice for it. Oh my gosh. She was in the movie The Proposal. The movie's based on her.
On her.
The movie The Proposal is based on this woman that just came into the camera. That was pretty cool. So I've got a grilled chicken sandwich. Well, actually, it looks more like a breaded chicken sandwich. And fries. And what have you got?
I got a cheeseburger. Just regular old cheeseburger. It's hard to find someplace without fish up here. And I had a red beer, an amber beer, which was real fruity. And then now I've got an Alaskan white. So.
And I've just got my good old Chardonnay.
All right.
we headed down to Ketchikan. Yeah. And we had been to Ketchikan before. And so, go ahead, you can talk about Ketchikan.
Is this the one that had the totem pole museum?
No, that was back in
that was Sitka. That was Sitka.
Yeah. Ketchikan had a different museum.
Oh, that's right. But they did that. They pretty much stressed the same native group.
Oh, no, Ketchikan is where the U.S. Forestry Service has a beautiful museum, and it talked a lot about the evolving Alaska, and a lot about the Indians, a lot about the mining, everything that goes on. And you walked through this museum. It was beautiful.
It was a really good
beautiful.
museum.
No, it was back up in Juneau that had the museum it was the house for the Tinglets.
Oh, okay.
And so, but the museum in Ketchikan was beautiful if you haven't gone to it. And if you're a veteran or if you're a poppy
you
card
got in
holder,
free, huh?
we got in free.
Yeah.
So, so there's a lot of, I think if you're a poppy card holder, if you have that card, if you can go to the national parks for free if you're over 65 and have that lifetime card, they'll let you in for free. And then even if you didn't, it was a nominal amount. It was maybe $15 or something. That wasn't much. So I'll see if I don't know if I got any video.
Great movie presentation in there. That was really good.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful place to go. And then what are
the rest of the town? We didn't do anything in the rest of the town.
A
lot of fish places to eat.
With
with long lines because everybody wanted king crab.
Yeah.
And a lot of souvenir shops, and we're just not into that anymore. So.
And a lot of mining. One particular store we went into had a lot of these, I forget what they're called. The rocks that look like crystals and everything. That from
the geodes.
The geodes and the huge geodes, and the one from Brazil.
Oh my gosh, that one store.
Oh yeah.
You ought to go in that store just because.
Yeah.
Even if you don't buy a thing, walk through that store because the geodes. There were some that were 6 feet, 8 feet tall, and some of them were made into tables. Oh my gosh, but they were very pricey.
And then coming back our last stop was Victoria. Now, they really canceled Victoria because what happened was a sailboat sunk out in the bay by Victoria Island, right? Is it Victoria Island? Or Vancouver Island? Vancouver Island, out of the Bay of Victoria. And so there were 4 people in the water. And
5 people.
5 people in the water.
5 people. Without life jackets.
Without life jackets. And so the pilot that was coming to get us, all the ships are piloted into ports. They had to be diverted to try to find those people. So we sat out waiting 3 or 4 hours before we got into port.
So literally, there was 2 hours in Victoria. They canceled all
the
excursions. They canceled everything.
Yeah, and the roughest water we had on our whole cruise was right there.
Yeah.
That was the roughest water we had.
Man, everybody was worried about those 5 people. That's all we did was, talk about, oh my gosh, how could they survive the water because it's so freezing cold without life jackets? How did that happen without life jackets? But we think maybe just the sailboat tipped over too quickly and they couldn't grab life jackets. So we just don't know. But the good news is they got them.
They were all recovered.
They were all recovered, and
everybody was taken care of. So that was cool. That was cool. So
and
then we went in. And like I said, the roughest waters we had were right there going in. Yeah. And then when we did park, we're like, I don't know, 6 feet from another ship. I mean, it was close. So so let's switch over. Let's talk a little bit more about the ship itself. We spoke a little bit about the exec talks. Let Doris talk a little bit about that.
They did. I made a list of them so I could remember. They focused on the tribes in Alaska. They focused on, they had a wonderful presentation on the Iditarod, and they had a wonderful presentation on the whales, the different types of whales up there, the Pacific. It was called Pacific Giants. And then what else did they have? Oh, they had a wildlife expert on board. He was amazing.
He was passionate, so passionate.
He even had a class on how to use binoculars. He was passionate about every topic that he talked about, the salmon and the bugs, and it turns out he said he was from upstate New York. Well, we grew up in the Adirondacks of New York, and so most people will say, "Oh, well, you don't know where this little town is." Well, we did, because he was about 45 minutes from our hometown. So it was really nice talking with him afterwards.
But it was kind of he was so passionate. He was telling us about the footprints of
he was
egrets
good.
And everything else.
Yeah,
so
he was very good.
It was kind of neat.
And then there was a test afterwards to see if you could identify the pictures. He was so good.
What a bear looks like and everything else. So, and then let's talk. We talked a little about the food. Let's talk a little bit more about the food.
We didn't really. Yeah, the food. It was okay. It was okay, good, and very good, depending on where you ate. Holland America is known for their wonderful, wonderful food. Really, really good. But we found, what was it, the breakfast the first morning in the buffet, because we always eat in the buffet in the mornings. Your eggs were horrible. They were horrible.
They had a new cook.
Yeah, I think they were having a lot of new people training on board because it was chaos. It's super chaos.
Yeah, they weren't quite organized. And we ended up talking with the manager, the highest level of
food service
person.
Yeah.
And he kind of explained to us that since COVID, there were schools in the Philippines and Asia that they sent all of Holland America people to. Well, apparently, obviously COVID stopped everything, and the crew they had on hadn't gone through that class yet. And so we have a mix of people on there, and they were getting better and better. And actually, even as
by the end of the cruise, it was all good. It was
in the
very
beginning
good.
Was a little chaotic.
Beginning was chaos. Yeah.
But I don't understand why it was, because they just came off a cruise.
Yeah.
So we're not sure why that did.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, some of the cooks they after the first morning they didn't have that young lady cooking again. They had someone else.
But that was fine. There's lots of food. There's tons of food. So much there. There's so many choices that you can't decide what you're going to have. They're very good choices. If you go hungry,
it was it's your
own
dining
fault.
room was we sat at different tables every night.
Right.
So we never did have the same table. Our choice, not theirs. And so we tried to meet people, and we did. We ended up meeting some. Come to find out, there were a cabin next to us that we met.
Yeah.
So a nice
and he was a
couple.
pastor,
And
his wife. Oh my gosh, they were the nicest couple. We really enjoyed time with them. We spent a lot of time with them on the cruise ship. They were fun.
A lot of nice people there. And then, as far as entertainment went, we spent a lot of time. Well, I guess they've eliminated the Lincoln Center.
Yeah, which is sad because that was one of our favorite things before dinner. Last year, we spent 3 weeks in the Caribbean on the New Statendam, and every day we would go listen to the Lincoln Center productions, concerts. It was wonderful before dinner. We'd have drinks, and then we'd go to dinner. And I missed that a lot. They ended that.
Normally classical music in the afternoon. It was kind of nice
wonderful.
Before dinner.
Absolutely
but we missed that. But they did have B.B. King was hopping. B.B. King Lounge was hopping.
Oh, that was good.
And,
music was too loud.
Yeah.
Because the venue is a lot smaller than the new Pinnacle class ships. So it was definitely loud.
Too loud, yeah. Too loud. And then they also had dueling pianos. And this couple.
They were amazing.
What was her name? Did you write there? Zach
I did.
and Emma.
Yeah.
Zach and Emma. Oh my gosh! If you get a chance to hear them,
they were good.
They were awesome. They passed out papers for you to sign, to ask for different songs. I didn't see anybody's paper not played, and they knew all the songs.
Just off the top of their heads.
Well, I'm not talking sheet music. They're not looking for sheet music. They might have looked for the words on
the words of music, but they didn't sheet music.
I mean, they were going back and forth. They knew each other. I guess they were partners anyway. But they were a great group. So
they were a young couple. Very young.
I still need to find them online. I haven't gone up.
Yeah, they were good.
Them online,
they were really good.
And then again, we went to the casino a little bit. We figured, well, you know what? If they're going to give us for playing $20, we give us a room. Well, give us a room, maybe.
You're not guaranteed a casino room if you play in a casino, but we do.
Yeah, so
that was entertainment for me.
I walked out with $30 a head, so I'm happy.
I walked out of there with nothing.
Yeah,
but I didn't lose, so that's good.
Okay, and then what else? Anything else?
Oh, they did have a chocolate night one night, so that was fun. Besides the orange party, for those that don't know the orange party, that's part of their
tradition,
their colors, yeah. And so everybody tries to wear orange, and then they have hors d'oeuvres and drinks and that sort of stuff to acknowledge that. And then they had a chocolate night party, so they were passing around all sorts of trays of chocolate. It was really
and
good.
They weren't stingy.
No, they weren't stingy. They were handing them out like crazy.
Yeah.
So that was really, as much as I love chocolate, that was perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
So then, I guess what else? What were the cons?
Our situation, we went June 24th through July 1st. It was pouring rain, which we didn't expect. It was cold, which we didn't expect. So the pool was covered. The back pool, the adult pool, was totally closed because of the weather. I'm assuming because of the weather, but it was never open except
never
the
open,
last
yeah,
day
yeah.
and the last day.
First day
As
and last
we're-
day.
Yeah. And so the only place to swim was that pool, which turned into a kiddie pool. It was nonstop, screaming kids, and the echoes. You couldn't walk through there without going, oh my gosh, I can't be in here.
Louder than BB King's.
Yeah, yeah. And then the 2 jacuzzis that they had off at the back of the ship, they're so shallow. We tried one day. When you sat 3 people in that jacuzzi, you were all touching feet. And it was so shallow that half your body was out of the water. So you were freezing
That was
cold.
not the best-
even
not
in,
the best
and it
jacuzzi
wasn't
for
warm
Alaska,
jacuzzi. It was like 96 degrees
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that jacuzzi.
yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure the weather had something to do with that. But yeah, so I would go in May or April, even though it's cold, because it could be cold like it was for us in the middle of summer. I would definitely go in April or May or September, October, if you don't want to be with kids. If you want your kids to be there, and man, they have a blast. They have a great kids club, and there's lots of stuff for them to do, organized stuff. So I would definitely, if you want to take your kids, that's the perfect time to take them. Yeah.
And then now they've taken one wall of the ship and they've turned them into cabanas.
In the pool, in the
that
main pool
in the
area,
main
which
pool
was,
area.
I didn't like that.
So it was kind of cool if you wanted to get a private cabana. And B, there would probably be nice, like if you're down Caribbean or something. But with the top closed and the screaming at the pool, it was pretty.
There's no way I would pay that kind of money for
yeah,
that.
it was.
I think it was $150 for the week.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the big cabanas up on top where they have the private cabanas. This was additional tented cabanas in the main pool area. So you had no view outside, which was because everybody kept theirs closed for privacy. So you no longer had views of the ocean.
Yeah, through that one wall.
Through that one wall.
Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing. I just didn't like it. I wasn't a fan.
I'll stick a video. I get a little bit of video.
Yeah.
I'll stick it on that
Not
too.
a fan.
I mean, it's probably it might have been good if it was down in Caribbean or something,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was the best up there, especially with the top closed and the noise that was.
Well, you
coming
have
in.
your regular cabanas if
Yeah,
you're in
and
the
your cabanas
Caribbean.
upstairs that
Yeah.
you can rent too. So
Yeah.
we didn't rent those, but and then the other thing that and I've heard this on a lot of ships now. This is happening. Is that you sign for every drink.
Oh, I got so tired of signing.
You know, they talk about ecology. Well, you get 2 or 3 pieces of paper that, well, you have to buy your own drinks if you're on a drink package. So
Which we were. We were.
And so we had 2 cards, and with those 2 cards, we'd come back with 2 pieces of paper. And you'd sign one and keep one if you wanted one. Every time.
Single drink
You can say keep
had
this
to
open.
have its own receipt.
Yeah. So I think
It's a new policy of theirs since last year.
Yeah, well, it's all the ships. I'm watching
Yeah.
other videos, and they're all talking about this. I'm not sure why they're doing it. Do they want to add a tip? Because there's already a 18% tip on there. So are they asking for another tip? Or are they hoping you sign more? Or is it tracked so you can say, yes, I had this many drinks. They were having too many problems with people saying, no, I didn't have that many drinks. Whatever. It's just a real hassle. So in conclusion, would we do it again? That's the important thing. Would we?
I don't know about Alaska. I think we're pretty much not cold
Yeah.
weather.
Well, that's a weather thing.
cruisers. Alaska is a Kodak moment every single moment. Every time you look out, there's either an eagle or a whale or there's some beautiful mountain, snow-capped mountains, or there's a glacier. It is absolutely gorgeous.
So yes, we would do it
Yeah.
again. Eurodam, a little bit older ship.
But spotless.
Yeah, it was clean.
They were scrubbing. Remember polishing? They were using
polishing the elevators,
machines
the
to
machines,
polish
yeah.
the chrome.
Yeah,
or
oh, yeah, they
polish
were
the
really-
brass.
yeah.
It was spotless. Our room was
So-
spotless. Everything was spotless.
I think the only
Yeah.
drawback was the signing for the drinks,
yeah.
and then Seattle was great, just beautiful. When we left Rainier, you could see Mount Rainier, and the clouds had broken, and we could see Mount Rainier. It was just beautiful.
Oh, it was. It was gorgeous.
We after the cruise, we took the hop on, hop off bus all around where they take us throughout Seattle. We ended up finding this little hole in a wall Chinese place for lunch. It was
In Pikes Market.
In Pikes Market, it
Holy
was
mackerel, that was
just
good.
a little. Nobody stopping there, but I know they were doing a lot of takeout. but it was a great restaurant. Oh my gosh.
Probably the best Chinese we've ever had.
Well, yeah.
It was really, really good.
And then we end up jumping on the tram and going down their light rail and taking it right into the airport. It was
That was actually an excursion that they offered, which was wonderful because you dropped your luggage off the night before in front of your stateroom and you never saw it again until you got back to your home airport. So we were able to go on the hop on, hop off bus all around Seattle. We took it once all the way around, and then we decided we'd get off at Down on the Water. And there's a curiosity shop that had some really strange stuff in it. Shrunken heads, yeah. It was really strange, but it was fun to walk through. And then we had a great lunch, and we just had a great day in Seattle. Our flight wasn't until 10 o'clock at night, so we had a lot of time to waste.
Yeah, and
that worked out to be a perfect excursion.
Fortunately, we have a credit card that has the lounge privileges on it, so we went to the lounge, plugged in our computers, did work, checked with our clients and everything else. So we are Jim and Doris from Unpack Once and Done. We do cruise only. We'll be glad to help you, or I'll put our stuff up here, or you can see our logo, or just click through on this YouTube page and you'll be able to get a hold of us. We'll be glad to help you. There's no charge to you, and we will work very hard. And we have 2 excursions coming up that we're putting on. Number 1,
Cruises.
Yeah, we're going to. We'll be leaving in January. At the end of January, going through the Panama Canal. We're leaving Miami.
We only have a couple rooms left on that.
Only a couple rooms left.
Only a couple of rooms.
Leaving Miami and going through, hit
Colombia. Oh my gosh, and all the Mexican ports.
All the Mexican
yeah,
ports.
it's really Guatemala.
And then then we'll end up in Los Angeles. And that's happening in the end of January.
Yeah, January 27th through February 11th. Yeah.
And we're going to be doing that. And we also have a Gulf cruise going on. Now, this is kind of a unique cruise. You fly to Honolulu, you get on the
Pride of America,
and it stops at 5 different islands, and you can golf at 5 different ports there. And so everything is top shelf, pick you up in limos or Mercedes-Benz buses. Number 1, just all your fees are paid, all your carts are paid, everything. And you golf on 5 different courses. And these are courses that you watch on Sunday afternoons. So look for those. You can click on our website, and you can click right through to our partner Gulf Ahoy on that. And they'll help you get set up. You don't have to hit all 5 courses. You don't have to be a golfer to go. So, but we do have a great rate on that ship. So we'll close it up. Anything else?
No, can't think of anything else.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe
thanks.
and like and subscribe, whichver way you want to do it.
If you want to talk cruising, give us a call. We love to talk cruising. We've been cruising since the 80s, and we absolutely are passionate about it. That's why we named our business Unpack Once and Done, because that's what you do.
By the way, our office is in our pockets on cell phone and computer.
We're always there for our clients.
We're always checked in.
Always.
So, all right. Happy cruising, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.